Neville Goddard said the world is yourself pushed out, and that also means your specific person. So keep watching to see how all the powerful facts that I'm going to explain in this video actually help you to manifest faster and yes, for your specific person. Hello guys, welcome to a new video. Hi to any new viewers. I'm Alexa, a manifestation coach. As you already know, this is about relationships, manifesting love, manifesting your exact specific person, or just your dream relationship, whoever you are. In the context of manifestation with love relationships, this is definitely going to help. Tons of amazing quantum science broken down into really easy digestible facts. We're going to be discussing in this video all about the psychology of how manifesting works and what are the mechanics behind the scenes that are actually bringing everything together so you can feel more confident and better and just overall, just excited about your SP manifestation. So keep watching. So what it boils down to is your subconscious mind is deciding and dictating what you experience. It's about your assumptions and beliefs that are stored in the subconscious, deeply rooted into your subconscious mind. We can't just pull out or think about all our beliefs and write them out and say, oh, here's all the positive and negative ones. So they are deeply rooted, but because of, the way the subconscious stores all of this information and repetition that I'm going to explain a little down the line in this video, it decides and dictates exactly what is actually being reflected and shown in your 3D reality. And no, don't worry, that doesn't mean a few negative thoughts or every single negative belief that you may have or issues in your SP relationship means that your life is just not great or bad things constantly happen. Absolutely not. But generally, those beliefs are reflected and shown to you in your reality. So then what's happening when you apply these conscious manifestation practices, all of you guys are at least a little bit aware of law of assumption, law of attraction, how all of this essentially works and that you're doing these practices and mindset work to bring in your desired outcome into your reality. So when you change that inner story, when you put in the effort and the work to change what's going on for you internally, what you mentally accept and believe in for your reality, your 3D reality has no choice but to follow, but to reflect that back to you. That change saying, oh, these negative circumstances don't exist. Oh, no attention has been placed there. Let me change the landscape. And what's really interesting as we start to delve into the psychological aspect of this is that those beliefs have to be confirmed. What's confirming the belief that you have and the assumptions that you hold, whether it's just unintentionally applied through repetition or just genuine beliefs you have about life and relationships, your reticular activating system, which I believe is like a function within your brain, is literally filtering your reality to confirm that belief. I guess would it be referred to as like confirmation bias? I think that's a slightly different aspect, but it's confirming the belief you already have. Your reticular activating system will literally filter and highlight and pay attention to the things in your reality that reflect that back to you. So if you're struggling with your SP manifestation, let's put it in the context for this video of what you guys probably are dealing with, then you're likely to see that reflected. Not to say that it's objective or that your manifestation is a struggle and really bad and just you're not on track. That's not what it means. It just means that you are more likely to pick up on and pay attention to what's already been shown, what you've already believed up until this point, and where your focus essentially has gone. So when you do start shifting those negative assumptions and the issues that may have played out up until now, because obviously if you don't yet have your manifestation, it is in a state of lack to your own conscious mind and what you might be dealing with emotionally. So shifting from those negative assumptions into focusing on that desired outcome, that relationship, being with SP, you will start to notice and pick up on the things in your reality that reflect that. So the more you're doing this, the more you are literally balancing out the new story, making it seem safe and okay to your mind, normalizing it. That's really what the work is for. And you are stabilizing this new reality for yourself mentally, emotionally, your inner conversations, your inner reality, what you are experiencing, regardless of what anyone else is going through or saying or doing in your 3D reality. When you stabilize this new version that you want, your specific person or the right person for you, depending on the situation, is experiencing and responding to that too. They are conforming, they are going through the shifts, the positive changes. You know, your focus should be on something positive, nothing negative, nothing relating to revenge. I highly recommend you guys focus on what will bring you true fulfillment, happiness, and joy. So it's obviously then also going to be a positive shift for your SP, opening up, being ready to date, or being ready to communicate with you openly. Those are the types of issues as well I've literally seen with my own clients. So those will be overcome, whether it's a personal realization for your SP, conversations they're having. We just don't know exactly, you know, pinpointing what your SP is going through, but I guarantee they are responding and mirror reflecting the change as well. If you are convincing yourself that this relationship is real, how can your SP have no impact? That would not make sense. So even if it seems like silent, no communication right now, it doesn't matter. It is still happening. So remember that your specific person is not resisting this relationship. They are responding to you. Whether it's good or bad is up to you. You have the power to shift your thoughts, to apply self-awareness, to apply your mental diet. So that is down to you, but they are going to reflect back to you. They have no choice. If you're serious about staying ahead of your relationship manifestation, then make sure you hit that subscribe button right below the screen so you can see all my newest advice videos, and turn on notifications, as YouTube doesn't actually always show you the best recommendations, so that you can get a head start on faster results. So as you're building this new inner reality, because that's what it's about, it's not about judging what's going on externally or judging everyone's words and taking them at face value. When you start stabilizing and really building on this identity of, I've talked about this a lot in past videos, but things like feeling chosen, safe, secure, loved, appreciated and wanted, prioritized, those kind of things, and just feeling, secure mentally and emotionally. You're not in a state of constantly wobbling, wavering. You do just reach more of a state of security and confidence. It does not have to be 100%, and it probably won't be. That's okay. But when you start to build on this and you start to maintain that, and I've seen people commenting on recent videos. If you're watching this, you probably know who you are. I've seen a few recent comments. People literally said, I feel so much better. I'm actually starting to believe in that new reality. So when you reach that point, your SP will have no choice but to conform to that, to treat you according to that, to reflect that. Another really great, I guess, psychological fact and what's going on for you internally, literally in your own body, is that for every thought you have, it creates a biochemical reaction, which then sends electrochemical signals all across your body. So every thought you have, positive or negative, it's literally creating reactions, chemical responses. So your body is literally responding to every positive thought you have about your future, about your present, about your manifestation being real, having an amazing life, just that the goal that you're working towards, this relationship, feeling loved and finally happy, chosen and secure, that it feels real. You're starting to accept it and you're focusing on yourself already being there. Your body is literally going to respond to that. It all makes it so much more realistic. I'm going to explain the quantum mechanics of manifesting as it ties into this. So I'll do that in just a moment, but I want to finish up this first section by telling you guys about the illusory truth effect. It's basically an explanation for manifestation where whatever your brain hears over and over again, it starts to believe. So the more you hear something, and unfortunately a good example would be in a negative situation if someone experienced bullying or a bit of mistreatment from someone in their life, then the more someone does that and the more they try and push you down, the more you are going to respond mentally and emotionally. It does have an impact on you. So it's the same way, the way you speak to yourself, positively, kindly, in a very uplifting, confident way, and trusting and imagining and assuming that everything's working out in your favor, that you are going to get this desire that you want, this relationship that you want. It's the illusory truth effect in work, in your brain. It's going on as you're applying manifestation, where you're saying something over and over, and it does start to seem way more realistic. Quantum physics essentially states that every potential reality is already in existence, every potential outcome, so to speak. And that means whatever you've imagined, whatever goal you've focused on, even if it's just verbally and you haven't been sat visualizing a lot, you will have had some visual imagery. You will have had some connection and, emotional and mental resonance with that reality of you being in this relationship, being with SP. At some point in some way, you will have seen that. So if you imagine it, that proves that it's already in existence. Observation precedes the actual effect coming in. But what's happening is that your brain is maintaining the same version of reality because it's the easiest neural pathway, essentially, where it's the easiest connection. It's what has always been true. It's what you've always thought about, imagined, accepted, and experienced in your reality. So without repetition and consistency, it is going to be hard to shift into the new version, to make it normalized and feel safe and okay and realistic. But then you have to remember that the repetition is actually changing your neural pathways. It impacts the neural pathways in your brain. So the more you focus on that, the more you focus on and repeat your affirmations. That's why I always tell my clients, repetition and consistency are literally the key. If you only focus on two things that are just the key phrases to take away with manifesting, I always say that. So the more you repeat your affirmations and convince your mind and reprogram your mind to say, this is my reality now, this is the relationship I have, the more it changes your neural pathways, the way your brain responds, the more realistic it seems. And your subconscious mind is running on the familiar memory loops. What does that mean? It means it's focusing on what's been repeated, where the repetition and saturation has been over, I don't even know if it's your whole entire life or a certain period of time, but a long period of time, a significant amount of saturation of this is just true, this is a fact that I accept in my life, instead of what's actually true right now or what you're building. So you might be applying lots of repetition. That doesn't mean that if you're not seeing or fully believing it, that it's not working. It needs time to build up, right? Because your brain is still working on the past version of reality that it had already accepted because of repetition. So even if you have loads of movement or behind the scenes movement, invisible movement, you're starting to feel better, but maybe you're not seeing results, whatever version of that maybe you're going through right now where you feel, I'm not 100%, I think my manifestation isn't 100%. It's just your mind still focusing on the old version that has played out up until now. And repetition is all about creating this learned habit where the more you do it, it's almost automated. People have even fed back, and I've experienced it myself. Your affirmations will just start playing on autopilot. Like for me, when I wake up in the morning, I don't even need to think about it. That was me clicking my fingers. My affirmations and whatever mantras and phrases I use when I first wake up, which are always positive, they start to just play out in my mind. So your subconscious mind will literally feed on and work through habit and repetition. And it's not about if it believes it, it's just going to start focusing on and accepting this because you are applying repetition to it. And in terms of quantum mechanics, how it works, not creating something brand new, something out of thin air. That is not our job and our role as humans here on Earth. It's already in existence. It's already a possibility. It's just in terms of creating that in your physical reality by creating a new belief, a new assumption, a new focus in your own mind. That's what it comes down to. Not wait until SP says these nice words to you. Wait until this circumstance changes. Wait until something just suddenly magically happens. That's not what it's about, and that's not how things work, to be honest. So you're simply choosing to select by focusing mentally on the version that you want. You're selecting this new version of reality where you have the relationship where SP is this new version or an improved version without any of the negative limiting beliefs or behaviors. You are simply selecting the version of reality that, as we said, according to quantum physics, is already a potential reality and outcome that is in existence. You need to select it, create that quantum frequency that you connect to by imagining it, resonating with it, mentally focusing on and mentally living in that end result. So that is hopefully reassuring, so you guys know you're not forcing an outcome, you're not chasing an outcome, and you're certainly not chasing your SP in the 3D reality. So take it as a practice and an intention of building up this new version of you, just an improved 2.0 version where you are releasing, letting go, and not focusing on any of the negatives. You're letting go of that and you're reminding yourself and building up these beliefs that you are chosen, you are secure, you are the prize, you are loved, you are worthy, all these things. It doesn't have to necessarily be self-concept work, but you are imagining and living as if you are this version. You're not going to be extremely self-deprecating or cruel to yourself or lacking in confidence and constantly doubting everything and not feeling happy or fulfilled at all. That's not how you'd be in the end result. So it's about building into this version of you where you feel that way, and usually it does come naturally from just your affirmations. Side of quantum physics, I of course also believe that God has given us all of these amazing infinite chances and opportunities for whatever we want. Whatever would bring us happiness is for our highest good, will help us just grow and live the best life and be happy and fulfilled. Of course, that is all possible and realistic. So I truly believe that nothing good would ever be held back from us. And you will likely experience doubt, and that is okay. That is not a sign of failure or that something's wrong. You need to be able to handle it and overcome and kind of override that doubt and not let it push you back into spiraling. So just have a mantra or your mental diet, just try and pick up on it and be self-aware. If you're not already at a good place, a stable place about your manifestation mentally, doing repetition and just in a positive mindset about it, you will need a mantra or a good mental diet. So when it hits you, that doubt comes out, just tell yourself, the new story is already real. The new version of my reality where SP and I are together, that's what I'm living now. The old version is long gone. I don't even know what that is anymore. So retraining your mind to accept this new version of reality where you are reminding yourself, have that little inner conversation and tell yourself, that old version is just the old story, emphasis on old. It's not here anymore. I'm in the new story. It's irrelevant. It doesn't have any impact on my life, on my reality, and focusing on already being in a relationship with SP. You just need to focus on it mentally. I would also want to remind you guys that a habit, including a belief, applying repetition, being on a really good, creating a really good mindset practice, with affirmations and just whatever manifestation practices you enjoy that you can really easily and subtly and naturally incorporate into your everyday life and the way you think, the way you react. All those types of habits take about 21 days for your mind to learn and accept and for it to become and build into a habit. So for it to be like this new safe practice that your mind is okay with and it feels safe and it's normalized, it does take time. So if you're still up to that 21 days and you haven't yet reached, a month period of being consistent or applying these manifestation practices, remind yourself, okay, it takes time for my mind to actually start to consider this more normal. And to kind of really ground yourself into this new version, this new reality, I would say use emotional anchors. So I'm about to explain to you guys some quick examples of what you can do to incorporate into that. So it can be anything like romantic instrumental music, scents that remind you of your SP, or dates, or just feel really good and uplifting and put you in a, mentally can help you embody that version of reality, maybe being on a date or being on holiday somewhere, whatever it may be. And also any visuals that might be considered subliminal messaging that tie into being chosen in a committed relationship, loved, feeling secure, any kind of visuals that to you resonate with what you're manifesting with your specific person. So to maintain that consistency, can't speak today, and make it more sustainable long term, you want to make it fun. That's the key element, because if it's going to be really boring and too structured and almost like a school project, a school task, a work task, then you're not really going to feel motivated and inspired to do it. So yeah, have fun with it, be creative, whatever works for you. It's slightly different for everyone, but those were my suggestions for how to really boost it.